Hey everyone, today I am going to be starting a little series of something different. I was thinking about what might be kind of fun to do while I'm still cooped up here, and I thought I would read to you guys my book, The Adventures of Will Irving, Automaton Trouble. Just so do like a live read, throw in some voices in there and just have some fun with it, a few chapters at a time, and go through the whole book with you guys. So I thought it'd be fun. You guys might like it. Just a little disclaimer, there is some light language and some light violence in it. So, it comes with having a detective story. But no F-bombs, nothing, super graphic, nothing terrible. Just some light violence and some light language as a disclaimer. But I don't think it should offend too much. So, with that, just wanted to share that with you. I'll be sharing chapter 1 here, and in the next videos to come, the rest of the chapters. So I hope you guys enjoy. Chapter 1 of The Adventures of Will Irving, Automaton Trouble. "You've got to be kidding me," said the man.
"Like I said, Mac, she ain't working.
Replied a little old man who was mopping the hallway floor.
And when the lift ain't working, there's naught else to do but use our God-given..."
"Whatever, Pops," interrupted the man, turning toward the stairs. "I hate the damn stairs," he muttered to himself as he began to ascend. It's easy to guess why the man was upset. It was a particularly hot summer afternoon, and he was already sweating quite profusely. The man was tall, huge actually, and thick. Not the lazy fat boy kind of thick, though, but rather the kind of thick that often finds itself on the giving end of cracked ribs, broken noses, and dislocated jaws. He wore a dark pinstripe suit that looked like it wanted to burst, and a dark, small-rimmed fedora that might pop off at a moment's notice. The guy looked the part of a brute, and he certainly wore it well. The man eventually reached the 3rd floor, huffing and puffing, and turned to walk down the narrow hallway until he arrived at a door that had "Irving and Marsden Investigative Services" printed on its frosted glass pane. Without so much as a knock, the man opened the door and entered the office. "Be right there," called a voice from an adjacent room after the dark-suited man had slammed the door shut. The man stood near the door and took in the office. It was a tidy room with a spotless desk, probably the receptionist's, facing the door, and 2 sage-colored upholstered armchairs against the wall to the man's left, a full bookshelf on the right, and a few filing cabinets behind the desk. A ceiling fan was slowly whirring overhead. "Sorry about that, I'm the only one," said a young man as he entered the room. "Ah, great. What do you want?" "How's the detective business, Irving?" replied the man. "Thriving from the looks of it." "Quit that chit-chat, Julius, and just tell me what you want," shot back the young man as he moved to stand behind the desk. "Take it easy, Will. No need to be rude," Julius chided. "How may I help you leave, then?" "That better?" Will Irving said with a smirk. "Always with the attitude. That's your problem, Irving. That's why I can't stand you," Julius said, scowling. "The feeling's mutual," Will stated. "Whatever. Just take a look at this," Julius said as he threw a photograph onto the desk. "What's that?" Will asked, feigning interest. "Just look at it, will ya?" Julius insisted, clearly becoming aggravated. Will took the photo and gave it a look. It was a black and white portrait of a beautiful young woman. "Who's the dame?" asked Will. "So you've never seen her before?" questioned Julius. "Nope. Who is she?" replied Will. "She hasn't been in here recently?" Julius pressed. "How many times are you going to ask? No. And no to any other version of that question you're thinking of asking," Will responded. "Well, if you do see her, you be sure to let us know right away," Julius stated. "Yeah, I'll be sure to do that," Will said sarcastically as he tossed the photo back onto the desk. "And you be sure to let Mo Sally know that I don't work with creeps." Suddenly, Julius shot toward the desk reached across and grabbed Will by the neck with his enormous right hand. He swung Will over the desk and then flung him forcefully into the bookshelf. Several books tumbled out of the bookshelf and onto Will's head. Will sat with his back against the bookshelf, dazed from the blow. "You're no tough guy, Irving. In fact, you ain't no Seamus either. Small time. Lousy. Just like your old man," Julius derided. Will shook the stars from his head. "You can move pretty fast when you want to, big guy," Will said as he touched a place on his forehead where blood was beginning to drip down. "I'll give you that. But you got one thing wrong." "Oh yeah? What's that?" Julius asked. "I'm nothing like my father," Will stated firmly. "Are we done here?" "If you see the girl," prompted Julius. "Nuts to that," Will said dismissively. Julius began to take a step toward Will when the door suddenly burst open and a young girl ran in. Will, guess what?" the girl shouted excitedly. "Hey, Emily," Will said weakly. Emily quickly took in her surroundings, first looking at Will and then quickly toward Julius before finally settling her attention back on Will. "Will, what happened? You're bleeding," Emily said, her demeanor quickly changing from excitement to concern. Emily hurried over and knelt beside Will. "I'm okay, Em. Just had a little scuffle with the bookshelf is all," Will said as calmly as he could. "I got my eye on you, Irving," Julius said with an air of disgust. "You got lucky this time." Julius made his way to the open door, stepped out into the hallway, and left. So that's chapter 1 of The Adventures of Will Irving, Automaton Trouble. We'll see you in the next video for chapter 2.